everybody, and welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with the Slice of Life. I'm Shiloh, and today with me I have Angus. Hi, Angus.
Hi.
And so, and so we need to talk about San Marino
Yeah, we do. Once again.
once again. So, so Gabry Ponte, right? Um,
That is the thing that happened, yes. Gabry
yeah.
Ponte
So
of
why don't
Eiffel
we?
65 fame, that's and other
Yeah.
things.
And so, okay. So to just recap the entire situation for anyone who is somehow just now hearing about this. Gabry Ponte, Italian DJ, former member of Eiffel 65, best known for I'm Blue Dubba Dee Dubba Die, also former or previous participants in Una Voce per San Marino.
Although that was done without him because
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And so he wrote a song called Tutta L'Italia. Maybe submitted it to Sanremo and got rejected, or maybe it was just somehow otherwise used as the Sanremo 2025 theme song in Italy. And the whole time Sanremo is going on, everyone is like, these songs suck. Can't we send Gabry Ponte instead? And then San Marino promptly announces Gabry Ponte as one of their participants with the song Tutta l'Italia from Sanremo. And then he won San Marino Song Contest, and so he is now going to Eurovision for San Marino. How we feeling?
I mean, it was one of the songs I like most in San Marino. It's a song I like more than most Sanremo songs, but loyal listeners will know that doesn't say much. Uh I mean, it's an old choice, but that's you know, I was very negative about San Marino, and I will still be upset at San Marino for just all the stunts they pulled this year. But I do think this is a good choice, and this is the kind of nonsense that only San Marino can cause, and that is also really fun to just experience.
It is truly nonsense. So what do we think about that live performance? Because I personally I have a couple of questions. My biggest question, first of all, is Gabry Ponte actually singing? Because he doesn't look mic'd. It looks like he is mouthing the words, and all of the actual singing has been handed off to the backup singers. Can he do that?
I mean, well, the thing is, well, it wouldn't be the first time we have uncredited singers who sing a lead vocal. Um,
Sure.
I love Portugal 2018, but Isaura, who was the songwriter, does sing in that performance, has a moment where she's leading the vocals, technically uncredited as a singer. Windows 95 Man last year, Henry Piespanen, uncredited, despite doing most of the vocals. I do think in Eurovision, they do need to have at least some of the singers on stage, I believe is the rule. But beyond that, I mean, it's fine. We all know, like, I don't know how much of it is true, but a lot of the rumors of like, oh, it was mostly backing vocalists and the people that pretend to be singing aren't singing was also for subwoofer. I remember some people saying that. I don't know how accurate that is, but there are ways to do it, and I do think that as such, it's possible to stage this tastefully, where you can see it's a DJ who's just having a party and there's actual singers. Will
It
that be
would
the
certainly
staging?
be a way to make Eurovision Composer forward again. I don't you know something something monkey's paw, right? Um Yeah, I have some questions, and that was really my biggest question, but I feel like I have more of them. Um, but before we get to that, what do you think about the live performance?
It was fine. Look, it's in. it's not in the school assembly hall. It's in the theater. It's in Teatro Dogano, I believe. Like it's in a proper theater at least. And San Marino. I mean, they're getting a handle on the national final because it's the second year in a row that was in an actual venue, and it was the first time that they finished not only on time, they finished an hour early.
How does that happen? Like literally, how does that happen?
I think they just were like, okay, last time we overran by like an hour and a half, so we just give ourselves an hour
Oh,
extra,
San
and then everything turned out
Marino.
fine. That's my best guess. It's not the best stage, but we've had worse national final stages than what San
Yeah.
Marino has. Poland last year, Germany almost always. Uh,
Spoken like a true German.
spoken like a true German. Um, and I think he made decent use of it. Gabry Ponte is you know, um, experienced performer, and it shows.
Hmm.
Like it's always going to be a DJ set, so that does
He's
take
having
work
the
in
time of
hand.
his life up there.
He's exactly, and it does seem like he knows how to then craft a DJ set for TV. And it's not
Hmm.
fully there yet, but I do think the basics to build on and have a good performance for Eurovision, stage wise, is there.
Hmm. So, and this brings me to one of my other big questions, which is what do we actually think is going to happen at Eurovision? Because right now a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is absolutely qualifying." And Italy is voting in that semifinal, and so they're not wrong per se, but I do suspect that this is getting a little bit overhyped. So I just want to hear your take.
I think say it will certainly qualify is a big gamble because okay, so I'm almost certain the 12 points from Italy will go to San Marino. Like it
Yeah.
might be 10 points if something happens, but it's almost certainly 12 points, right? Especially with the anecdotal stuff in Italian media that apparently a lot of Italians tuned into the San Marino Song Contest. It
Hmm.
was also like almost 500,000 viewers, which obviously is like 8 times of all the people that live in San Marino. So, but also there was like clearly an Italian contingent and not just via the San Marino website. So that bodes well. And that gets you 12 points. But you need roughly like 30, 36 to be like a qualifier.
Safe. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, anything can happen. The good thing is you have 12 points banked and you can build on that. And Gabry Ponte is a big name. He works with a lot of artists. So directly and indirectly, he can mobilize a big network to support him. Lumix's biggest song. Anyone remember Lumix? Halo, Austria 2023? Is with Gabry Ponte, for example. So that's the kind of network that you can like get media from and also just free advertisements basically. But I'm not going to say it's a safe bet because it's another like song for the dance floor, and we have a lot of songs for the dance floor this year, also
We
in
have
this
so many.
semi. And I mean that means all these songs have a chance of qualifying because you never know ahead of time um what audiences will connect to. But at the same time, any of them could DQ when in other years they might have sailed through just because, they were one of two or three songs like that.
Yeah, what a weird year we're having.
I think at Eurovision in the final, if it qualifies, which I do think it will, but I'm not sold on, but I do think it will finish like mid-table-ish because it won't get too many jury points, but some. And it will not get
Well, if
too
anybody
many
on the juries
televotes at
knows
that
Gabry
point.
Ponte personally, which is a possibility.
It's quite possible, isn't it?
Man's been
But yeah,
around,
mid-table finish. The man has
which
been around.
like would be San Marino's best ever result, probably.
I mean, that would be because Samuri's best is now 18th, I want to say.
Right.
Something like that.
And that was from like Serhat the dentist. No,
Yeah.
that's not right. It was that
No,
a
it was. Because Sarah Tedents ended up finishing higher than Senhit and Florida because everyone was like, oh,
yeah, I
just to
I
make it
have to
funnier.
look at I'm looking up Senhit and Flowrider right now. Um, my God.
San Marino Eurovision, man. It's something.
Yeah, they got
Um,
22nd. Uh-huh.
yeah.
You're right. Serhat the dentist beat out international superstar Flo Rida.
International superstar and bikini contest judge. Because we shouldn't forget the whole bikini contest judge
No,
thing that happened at
no,
Eurovision.
no. God, what a ride. What a ride we go on every year. Yeah,
San
so
Marino.
I again I truly have no idea how well this will do, but I don't think it's a safe qualifier. I think it will qualify. If it qualifies, it's qualifying by the skin of its teeth. Just because I feel like the thing about Gabry Ponte going for San Marino was always going to be this. It would always have been a better performance if it had Italy's resources to back it up. San Marino doesn't have the experience and the know-how, nor do they just straight up have the funds
Although
to
maybe
put
this
on.
year, with how many qualifiers they had and to get into the semis and stuff, you had to pay extra. So,
Right, and so
I
maybe they're gonna extort Gabry Ponte and have him pay for shit himself. I don't know, but
mean, that's what
like,
Achille Lauro did himself. Remember
yeah,
Stripper?
I do remember Stripper, and even then, it was still kind of a mess. And so I don't. The problem is that it's they're not going to be able to do this in a way that doesn't make it look tacky. And you know, for Gabry Ponte singing Tutta L'Italia, tacky is probably fine. Like, I think that that's an appropriate mood for the song, but I think that there's also a world where they have a lot where they go for Italy and had a lot better staging than they're gonna get here. And so you never, I like, it might look like just a total disaster.
It might.
It might.
Yeah, the good thing is, as we said, Gabry Ponte has a lot of contacts. He is experienced as a stage performer. Tutta L'Italia was, I believe, also performed live at Sanremo, which of course completely different staging, but that it is not the first time the song has been performed. Um, I mean, he might want to promote the song himself, and that's what Achille Lauro wanted with Stripper, to be clear. He wasn't being extorted by San Marino RTV. He was
Sure.
just like, I want to give this song the strongest performance possible, but Achille Lauro is unfixable, horny theater kid, so it was him riding a bull while people were in cages. Um, I believe that was the performance, right?
That was such a sentence. It was just such a sentence.
It is one of the sentences of all time. Um, so I can see him doing something. The problem is I don't know who he has in his creative team or like, in his Rolodex that he can build a creative team around. Um, but I assume he has his contacts so that he can like, be like, hey, let's go to Eurovision and make this a big thing. Tacky is not necessarily a bad thing. It does like Tutta
Right.
L'Italia is sort of like the Mona Lisa with the finger stash of songs. And I do mean it as a fun compliment because I do love 2012. Like that was a fun time for
Like, of
music.
course you do.
Of course I do. Um,
It's one of the least
but
surprising things you've ever said.
drag me.
Sorry
Just
for turning this very serious discussion video into an Angus roast session.
hey, at least it gives us something to talk about, right? Um, but yeah, the question remains. What will the staging look like and will it connect to viewers at home? Because the other risk is also that if you make it very slick or very well produced, people will just think of it as an interval act instead of an actually competing song, almost,
Hmm.
because it's also just a DJ on stage with some nonsense happening around him, most likely.
Hmm.
And that can then read more as like, oh, that was an interval act, it's fine.
But how can people possibly, like, I know that people are stupid. I live in the capital nation of people being stupid. But how they make it very clear which songs are competing. They do.
Well, allegedly people vote for the wrong country all the time. In the UK, apparently, it's always like 5% of people or something that vote for the UK, even though every single time. any number appears on screens. It's like you can't vote for your own country, and people still do. So, you know,
Sure. Yeah. So stepping back from Gabry Ponte for a second, you watched the live show, the final, did you not? Or at least you watched some of it?
yeah,
Who else was good? Tell me.
the rumpled would have also followed with San Marino's weird rock obsession in Eurovision. They're this Italian Celtic rock band, like Celtic punk. And it's actually really fun and nonsensical. It's yeah. And that they finished second. To be clear, they also finished second. The San Marinese juries love them. I get that's not everyone's cup of tea, but it would have been such a San Marino pick.
Were it
Um,
not for the Gabry Ponte effect, right?
which is the other very San Marino pick.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I must say, especially considering the circumstances, just the low amount of production value, which is not to blame anyone. It's amazing that San Marino can put on such a show. People sound on average actually pretty damn good on the night. And
Which is new, I think.
I mean, it's
At
just
least from my now 2-year-old experience of having to sit through Una Voce.
it was a lot more consistent than last year's final with the
Okay.
vocals. Even from vo yeah. So it is somewhat a new development. So I'm like, it was a pretty good overall show, but yeah, for me it was basically the Rumpled. There were a few other songs to like, but was yeah, um, nothing that really stood out to me that didn't really like before the show. Did you catch any of it, or
No. Look, I've done my time.
so just the way you said that was the funniest. How dare you imply I would ever watch this willingly?
Yeah, but no, I didn't watch the show at all. It was sort of a busy Saturday between Sweden and the total like populist upset in Sweden, and then Portugal having a tie. And so there was so much other chaos that went on Saturday that I just kind of never got around to it. And then it was, like, oh, it's Gabry Ponte. Gabry Ponte won. I've heard the song already. And didn't really even go to watch the live performance until like yesterday. And so, no, to answer your question, no, I didn't watch it. No, I don't have opinions on what else was good. And so maybe by rights I shouldn't be on this video, but consistency.
And you engaged you engaged at
I'm
multiple points with
engaged.
Submarine. No,
That's
you engaged
news.
with yes, you're engaged to Submarine now. You've watched at least 5 minutes of Una Voce slash the San Marino Song Contest. That's enough. No. Um, yeah, it was a wild night for Eurovision in general for national finals. So yeah, completely understandable when people missed out on it. But that's what this video is also for, right? It's not just for us San Marino heads who watch it all. Um, so yeah.
Thank you for watching this, perhaps slightly, just a little bit chaotic video. Um, if you liked it, leave a like or a comment on this video. You can subscribe to our channel where there are more videos of us trying to talk business and then just goofing off. You can head over to our website, www.eurovisionsite.com, for all the latest news, editorials, interviews, rankings, and more. And you can find the website on socials at that Euro site on basically any social media that most people use, and also threads. And we have a podcast. An audio version of this discussion will be going out in podcast form. So if you like to listen to your discussions that way. You can find us at That Euro Podcast on socials or That Eurovision Podcast on our website or on your Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or other podcast listening apparatus of choice. And if you're currently listening to this as a podcast, hi.
Hi.
Anyway, thank you for watching or listening, as it were, and bye.
Ciao.